And we are joined now, alongside us, is the CEO of Boxer, the man responsible for that wonderful evening ahead of us. Ben Shalom joins us. Hello, Ben. How are you?
I'm good. I was just actually, you just reminded me, I've got to change Ben Whittaker's hotel room because he's been complaining.
What's wrong with it?
Since he's become a superstar, you can tell him this, he's changed his demands. So we've moved from hotel rooms to suites and now changing hotels.
Oh, what is going on?
Well, hold on, you're changing hotels because he's not happy with the hotel?
No, mention this to him.
Of course.
No.
Trust me, we will mention this to him.
No,
what's the problem with it?
No, he deserves it. I'm going to get him in trouble.
No. Of course you won't.
He's, to be fair, I think we've stitched him up with his hotel room, so I'm having to
Whatever happened to getting hungry until you get to that world?
Yeah,
then you change rooms.
Dan Aziz won't stay in a hotel. He stays in his council flat he had from when he was young. He'll stay in there for fight camp, and then he'll come out a beast and an animal.
There you go.
When he knows it's time to come out, does he look down at his £200,000 Rolex?
I think he must. Yeah, I think he must, or one of them. So yeah, no, he's all good. He's to be fair, I think he's been stitched up.
Okay. A bit like Ben. We'll talk to Ben later on about that. But listen, thank you for joining us. It's an exciting fight, right? Because everyone we speak to can't really determine who's going to walk away at the end of the night the winner. How do you see it? It's obviously a real tough fight to call, right?
It is. I think anyone that says that they can predict it doesn't know because there's too much unknown. Frazer Clarke, we've not seen him tested in the professional game, so we don't know. For me, I'm slightly surprised that Fabio's such a favourite. I am slightly surprised that a lot of the boxing world are going with Fabio because personally, if Frazer Clarke can match Fabio, and it is a big if, but for everything that we know Fabio's good at, his work rate is great, his determination, his preparation, everything. He's a model professional and he's become better. But if Frazer can match him for those things, I think Frazer's the favourite. But it's a big if, and Frazer hasn't had the big nights yet. And this is a huge night. I mean, to be doing this, I think Frazer would become the fastest ever British heavyweight champion if he wins on Sunday.
He's had 8 fights, right? So this will be his 9th fight.
Which is phenomenal speed. Is it too early? Has he had the right experience? We'll see. But yeah, I think the reason it's so hard to predict this, there's too many unknowns. There's too many unknowns, even about Fabio Wardley. You know, you talk about his best wins, and they were great wins against Nathan Gorman and David Adelaide. But we've seen how much Nathan Gorman was really there or left. And then with David Adelaide, it's not Frazer Clarke. So there's a lot of unknowns. It's a hard one to call, but that's what makes it such an exciting fight because there's just so much on the line.
When you say about the exciting fight, it is a really exciting fight. Do you think it's the different backgrounds as well? Because we speak about Frazer Clarke's amateur career, whereas as Fabio came through the white collar. Do you think that's why it's kind of captured the imagination of so many people and no one can predict the outcome? Yeah,
there's definitely that. I think Frazer's been in there with the best in the world, the best names in the world, amateur setup in WSB as well. So I think when someone has that amount of pedigree, has gone through all the ranks, has an Olympic medal, has been a Commonwealth gold medalist as well, he should be beating Fabio Wardley. He should, but the way Fabio, and I'll be honest, when he fought Nathan Gorman, I thought that was his level. I thought that wasn't going to go well for him that night because Nathan Gorman is also a well-schooled boxer, but I think he's proven that in the professional sport, it's about knockouts, it's about power, and it's about being streetwise and being able to fight, not just box.
Yeah.
Fabio Wardley can fight, and we're going to see whether Frazer Clarke can fight as well.
Yeah.
I can't wait, if I'm being honest. I know you've sold over 10,000 tickets, so it's a big crowd that's going to be there. Have you ever seen, and this is big for both of these fighters, right? Have you ever seen a fighter swallow it on such a big occasion before?
Yes. But usually those that are inexperienced,
But Clarke is, right, relatively?
Relatively, but I don't think there's any more pressure than fighting for your country in the Olympics.
Okay,
I think when you're
point.
fighting for a medal and you've got the weight of that country, and he was GB captain, and he has had a lot of pressure turning over with that medal and fighting on Sky Sports and having to learn your craft on a big stage. That's a pressure every time. So I can't see either of them swallowing it, as you say. I think they're too well prepared, and I just think that you're going to see the best version of them both, and yeah, whoever can deal with it the best will come out the victor.
Now, it said that obviously you pulled Frazer a year ago, was it, after the purse bids? I mean, you see you smiling there. Because the rumour is that you didn't think he was ready back then.
Yeah.
What makes you think he's ready now,
year on? Look, it wasn't that. I mean, Frazer Clarke will feel that he could beat Fabio Wardley on his debut. It's more, and first of all, promoters can't pull fighters out of first.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's ask the question. Why didn't the fight happen then?
The fight didn't happen for me because Frazer Clarke had 6 fights. He'd not been past 6 rounds, and regardless of how good you are, it's just irresponsible. Don't do, anyone in boxing knows you don't do that. The same people saying he took the fight then are the same people saying it's too early now.
Yeah.
You can't win in boxing. He's going at a phenomenal pace. Otherwise, he wouldn't be set to become the fastest British heavyweight champion. So I think to take it 2 fights later, to have gone 10 rounds, to have had his fight against Marius Wack and David Allen, and even though he wasn't tested whatsoever, he still did rounds and he still was under the bright lights and was on big shows. At least as a promoter and as a team, we know we've done everything we can
to get him ready,
to make him ready for an occasion.
Who stopped that fight happening a year ago?
The team came to a decision.
Who's head of that team?
That it wasn't right at the time, and I think everyone, if I'm honest, anyone should take credit for it because it was a right decision.
Listen, of course,
because
we're just
right now we're seeing them both earn career high paydays.
Yeah.
Both of them are absolutely over the moon that it's happened like this. They're at the O2, and the fight always had to be made, and what a big fight that it now is. I look and I think, God, I didn't cave, or we didn't cave to public pressure.
There was an eye there.
Because at the end of the day, as a young, I was 28 years old then, I knew I was going to get a huge amount of grief for what I felt was the right decision.
Of course.
It's easy to make an easy decision and go, yeah, go on, I don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, we made a very tough decision, and I got a lot of grief for it at the time. But I believe, and I know it was the right decision, and both fighters know that, and both fighters are reaping the rewards of it now, and Frazer's ready to go.
Have you noticed a change in Frazer for this fight? Because we had them both in the studio, and they were both getting it under each other's skin, but they've almost seemed to just go and calm it down a bit. Have you noticed a change in him, or is he chomping at the bit to get into this fight?
One thing I've struggled with, and I'm happy to say this, is getting Frazer up for fights. Because he's been in the deep end in the amateurs, and it's hard to then start your journey again. It's the first time I've seen him really up for a fight. I've never seen him train like this. He looks in a different shape. He's in a phenomenal shape, and that's all that can be expected. So, yeah, I've definitely seen a difference in Frazer because I think he thinks, I'm here now. I'm arriving now. He's seeing his name in lights. He used to work security, for these nights. He was there at the Dillian White, Anthony Joshua 0-2 fight, and you can see him in the ring, as a security guard. He now headlines his own fight again at the O2, and he's ready to go, and to be honest, this is what every fighter dreams of, a British heavyweight title at the O2.
Last question to you, if it's going to be won early, who's going to win it?
I can't see Wardley coming out of Ben's mouth.
No, I think the obvious answer to that is Wardley, but because of his history and he can really punch, but Frazer can punch too. Personally, I think Frazer might stop Fabio late on. I do.
Okay.
But look, we'll see. Anything can happen. Anything.
It can. Reminder, over 10,000 tickets have already been sold for this fight. The last remaining few tickets, if you want some of them, head over to Boxer. That's 2x's, BOXER.com now. It's Fabio Wardley against Frazer Clarke at the O2 Arena this Easter Sunday. It's live on talkSPORT.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.